Hello everyone, welcome to another adventure with us. Today we are heading to the Manistee National Forest where we'll be making a stop at the Chittenden Nursery. This is where the National Forest Service raised pine trees to be replanted in the areas where the loggers logged out trees. Welcome to another episode of Skinner's Outdoor Adventures, where we take our family and travel around and see what sights and sounds that we can find. At the Chittenden Nursery, CCC workers began to clear a site just east of Wellston for a new nursery in early 1934, and by the fall of that year, the first plantings were made. The nursery at Wellston was later named for influential forestry professor Alfred K. Chittenden. In a ceremony on July 3, 1936, P.A. Herbert, head of the forestry department at Michigan State, delivered a dedication address as a large bronze medallion mounted upon a huge granite boulder in Chittenden's memory was presented to the Forest Service. Chittenden Nursery served as a hub of activity during the reforestation efforts of the 1930s, with much of the eastern and Midwest United States stripped of their forests and urban unemployment driving men to the Civilian Conservation Corps. The U.S. Forest Service created Chittenden Nursery with the CCC members as the primary laborers. Opened in 1934, the nursery supplied seedlings and transplants for regional planting and featured several buildings, including a greenhouse. The nursery operated for almost 40 years before being closed in 1973 due to insignificant demand for seedlings. In cooperation with the CCC, the U.S. Forest Service leveraged the nursery's population of pine, spruce, and hardwood trees to reforest more than 101,000 acres of Manistee National Forest between 1934 and 1942. Read more about the Chittenden Nursery's history in Silviculture magazine. The Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, was a work relief program that gave millions of young men employment on environmental projects during the Great Depression. Considered by many to be one of the most successful of Roosevelt's New Deal programs, the CCC planted more than 3 billion trees and constructed trails and shelters in more than 800 parks nationwide during its 9 years of existence. The CCC helped to shape the modern national and state park system we enjoy today. The U.S. Forest Service is moving ahead with plans to relocate the office of the Cadillac-Manistee District Ranger Station from Manistee to the former Chittenden Nursery in Wellston. Now the Forest Service plans to repurpose the buildings that once housed the nursery operations. A cone shed where pine cones were stored to dry is now being renovated and winterized to provide living quarters for fire crews or other temporary employees. The seed extractor, where the seeds were removed from the dry cones, has also been refurbished inside and out to provide living space for seasonal employees who work on the forest each summer. A house on the site where nursery staff lived is now being used as an archive for forest records. We hope you enjoyed this little trip and learned a little bit about the history of the Chittenden Nursery. And remember, if you want to see more episodes like this, like and subscribe to our channel.